So, hi guys, my name's Claire, and this is my cover. It doesn't really have anything to do with my speech. I just want to tell you that I have two lovely dogs that I love them so much. Okay, here we go. I have always considered my 18 years of life in two parts, music and voice. The prior inevitably led to the latter, yet all seems like luck at the same time. When I was about this young, my mom started culturing me into a all-around human being. She always had pretty high hopes on me, so I was brought to a pre-K where they played a lot of music and danced. My family isn't really musical. In fact, no one has anything to do with music until me. But still, my mom thought it would be a good idea to play music to me, so I accidentally made contact with Mozart, Beethoven, and Bach without anyone around even knowing who they were. Don't think that's irrelevant to who I am today. Did you know that you can only develop perfect pitch before you're 1 year old? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to tell my mom about this at that time, or I would have had it. But thanks to all the music I listened to, I got to have a very good musicality in an ear training. By the time I was this big, I joined the school choir and got to be the soloist in my school choir. I was addicted to the feeling of being under the spotlight, so I signed up for a bigger one in 4th grade. I didn't have any music theory background, so it was mainly luck that got me through audition. But I got in, and I made progress faster than everyone else, thanks to my mom again. Soon, I became the conductor's favorite again, and I realized the choir means more to me than any other kids. I mean, we were preparing for a competition in Russia, and we had to train for 30 hours a week. By the time everyone was bored except for me, so I knew something was growing in my heart. But I also knew at the same time that my parents don't want a musician as their daughter, so I buried it away. At the time I was in middle school, that was me in middle school, I became the most important member in my choir. The conductor asked for my presence in every public performance. However, my school teacher didn't like it, of course. She started to make my life suffer in school by picking me out in everything possible aspect except for my grades. Like so, especially in English, she teaches. So I had to make the decision to quit choir eventually. I thought in despair that this would be the end of my musical life, right? Yet luck stepped in again and pulled me back into the game. I wanted to get into Juilliard. I'm sure you guys know that school. And they were recruiting musical students. And the requirement's much easier if you pass the music test. My parents thought the years in choir would be helpful, right? So they agreed to let me study singing so that I could get into the school. That was the moment my life stepped into the next phase. I officially started singing, and it never stopped. We found an old lady as my teacher. After a few lessons, I got it pretty easily, but only after I was in did I realize this was not the life I could stand at all. My urge to go professional got stronger every day, and what's worse, I want to go to America. Sorry. But as soon as I told my teacher, she hated it. She told me I didn't have what it takes to be a singer. I didn't have the gift by nature. The tone for a soprano, say. Of course, my parents tried everything to stop me after English staff. However, I couldn't see myself doing anything else but singing. So I took a chance. I bargained with them. If I can get into the best music school by myself, you will have to support me with no condition. Guess what? I got lucky again. I won the bet. After that, it seemed obvious neither my current school nor my private teachers fit for me. She hated me, so I transferred to here, going to a foreign language school. Which has one of the best international programs. And it's close to home, so why not? And I also found my second private teacher. He brought a total different world of singing to me. I improved much. But the trauma from my previous teacher was engraved into my brain. I couldn't help but worrying about damaging my throat by any chance. I was so paranoid that I couldn't even help myself with a chip or a biscuit. It got worse and worse until I went to the Juilliard summer school. It was a life-changing place for me. The place where I met the teacher who introduced me to men's school music and the teacher who relieved my compulsive mindset. She told me, everyone has her or his own voice. Don't be who you're not. Be real instead of what the world wants you to be. In the very same program, we learned how to feel our bodies, how to use them, and most importantly, we learned to foster the ideas that there's no need to agree to perform or say things you're not comfortable with. To show you the difference it made, here's the video I recorded before Juilliard. It's a little bit embarrassing. Don't laugh, please. Alright, yeah, that was very embarrassing, but you can tell that I was very nervous and my posture is kind of like uncomfortable. And here is the video they recorded of my performance in the summer school. Alright, I'm gonna play this again. Here we go. So, you can tell, it's quite obvious that even though the technique was kind of the same, it didn't improve a lot, but I feel so much more comfortable in here and I'm so much more relaxing. I came back from the summer school and it was closing to my last year in high school already, so I had to start preparing for college application. My voice training got more intense and I had to find another teacher again because this was simply not enough for me anymore. A few weeks into the new life, my sabotaging mindset, guess what, creeps back into me again. Thinking back, it was probably just puberty, you know, or maybe it's just a platform I'm hitting and singing, but I blamed everything to me, lacking a gift and voice. My teacher noticed my disoriented self, so he took me to his teacher, Doug, who is my idol, who later became my life mentor. It was the first time I got to see a real singer. And she was 68 years old by that time, but you can still see that she glows elegance and confidence. She felt so endearing to me, and she encouraged me to check my throat if I'm worrying about it. Exactly, the solution to the problem that's been bothering me since the beginning. I was so busy drowning in it that I never thought of trying to solve it. And it turns out it was that simple. I would always remember when she looked me in the eyes and said, "Claire, I think you can sing." I felt so relieved. As if all this time I was waiting for someone to give me this information, and now I finally have it. Senior 3 hit eventually, and I had 10 school. I wanted a 9. As much as my sanity tells me, you need to cut some. I couldn't. So I told myself, screw that. I'm applying to all of them. Since I wanted to experience the entire process of the application, I decided to do it entirely on my own. What you call DIY. There were so many nights I stayed up to write my essays, and so many documents and websites I had to read. Thank God, the school was able to help me with my recommendations and essays. My days were easier to do. Soon, it was October, 2 months to the deadline. I had to get my pre-screening video done. I don't remember much about those days anymore. I suppose the brain automatically shields memories that are tormenting. I somehow managed to send all applications out by the December 1st. It's a miracle, to be honest. Later, I heard back from 5 schools with my audition invitation. And before the airline shut down for COVID, I flew to America by myself to audition for my schools. The last battle I had to deal with before spring arrives. I remember the first letter I got was a rejection from Michigan University. I was in South Carolina for my second audition, and I got an email. I called my mom. You could hear the disappointment. She was trying really hard to cover it, but she failed. I thought I would have been devastated too, but I didn't react much to it at all. I still got 4 more to go. I didn't have time to be sad. I also remember the first acceptance. I was underground in Manhattan, waiting for my train. And the University of South Carolina accepted me. Even though I already knew I wanted to just once. It was such a relief to all the burden I wasn't even aware of having. I finally breathed in my first breath in Manhattan. Months later, I was also accepted to Johns Hopkins and Mannes School of Music. After some thorough considerations in the Europe Zoom classes, I am now a sophomore in Mannes School of Music. Oh, and by the way, I have to say I improved a lot with the recordings. Here's the recordings that I did most recently. Alright. And you know what? I can try musical. I'd like to swim in a clear stream where the water is icy cold. Then go to town in a golden gown and have my fortune told. Just once before I fall, I'd want to be not evil, but a little worldly more. The girl that is longing to be kissed upon the arms. That was my monologue, but the video couldn't play here, so I couldn't show it. But yeah, this was the monologue. But yeah, let's not do that. Ugly. Yeah, so people say that the moment I got into my dream school was the moment I transformed into a butterfly. But the truth is, a butterfly will continuously lay eggs and become a caterpillar over and over again. It shall be the same for me. Becoming a butterfly is not the end. There shall always be another caterpillar in you that's thriving to fly even higher in the future. Thank you.